So obviously we're launching Aura Social, and we're actually doing our 3rd birthday, which is good. First point obviously would be to kind of just clarify, what does social mean to you? Emma, do you want to start us off?
I think social, one of the key words when talking about this would be engagement. I think especially in this industry we have to engage with our clients, obviously, and they have to engage with their public on a range of platforms. So we've got, face-to-face networking and the social media platforms, and as many of these as you can incorporate, the more the better. It gets them more noticed, gets us out there.
True, very true.
Laura?
I think the one thing that social means to me is about reputation and how quickly it can be ruined by bad use of social media. And there was a very, very good case recently. I won't name the shopping mall that was involved, but it just showed you how badly that was handled by people who don't understand social media. And I think one of the things that I find most exciting about Aura is the fact that we can combine traditional skills and if you like, old-fashioned PR strategies alongside our really new expertise in social media, and I would say that we were probably ahead of the game in terms of most other PR companies.
I think we're ranked top in Scotland on the Peer Index, which is outside of London.
Cool.
I can't remember the number, but it changes quite frequently, so if anybody wanted to check up on that, they just need to go into Aura PR and the Peer Index to check, but we're certainly ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I think to expand on what Flora was saying, social is all about changing and managing perceptions as well. As you said, people have experiences every day, and they can be good or bad, and whether they are good or bad, these perceptions have to be managed. If they're good, continue with what's going well, and if they're bad, really work on that. Why are they bad? What can be changed? It's all about adding value to clients, basically.
I think the common denominator of everything is that we always have a strategy, and I think that's maybe where some people fall down. Sometimes PR is an add-on, sometimes social media is an add-on, and strategy is what we're all about. We take a brief, we even sometimes have to work on a client for a brief, we take that brief and we break it down so that we actually tailor a strategy to what the requirements are. We don't just say, oh, let's write a press release, oh, let's just do this. It's all relevant and relates back to what the business objectives are, which is absolutely essential, and again relates back to things like, is it a perception or a reputation thing that we're managing? Is it an awareness campaign? What is it we're actually trying to achieve? And if you don't have a strategy, then how are you actually supposed to go about your business and make sure that it actually works and you achieve what you're supposed to?
Yeah.
And in doing that, in deconstructing the brief, we can find out how it's best to integrate social media strategy in this way. I mean, for some clients who are not using every channel is maybe not the best, we might need to pick and choose and decide what suits them best, what they're comfortable using, what we're maybe comfortable managing for them, and just seeing what fits better. I mean, now recently we're starting to go down the YouTube kind of way with a lot of our clients making videos, because people quite like to sit and watch little clips where it be 30 seconds. Yeah, depends. So yeah, time as well, that's important. When you decide to broadcast these things online, trying to find when people are active. Is it in the evening? Is it in the morning, the afternoon, whenever? People at lunchtime having a wee look. All of this you have to take into account to try and hit them at the right point.
What you were saying there about what works best, a good example is for us. We find probably that Twitter works best for us, and our engagement with our audience and people that want to know about us, and that goes for prospective clients, current clients, potential employees, current employees, and most of our chatting is done there. In fact, we've done business on Twitter before, whereas Facebook, you know, it's quite accessible without having to join, and you know, you can see a lot of information, and you can snoop almost as well. And a lot of that sometimes people use as sort of photo libraries rather than as an engagement and discussion platform.
Yeah.
I
think going back to what Laura said about having a strategy, I think the other thing that is very important and that we're very keen on is measurement and evaluation. And that links back to added value and what we can do for businesses. And also, you know, how do you measure social media? But actually the CIPR has got now a measurement and evaluation toolkit for that online, and anyone who's a member can access that. And as we've already said, we're all members, and you know, we use all of these tools to help us to deliver best value for our clients.
I think as well that the CIPR have done very well at developing things that keep us to the professional code of conduct. And you know, there's some PR people and agencies out there that don't necessarily have membership to these sort of things, and you know, us being ethical and actually going about our business in a strategic and ethical manner again adds value to what's going on, because it's all been done and you're actually seeing what the return on the investment is. Whereas I think, you know, in the past, you know, measurement and evaluation hasn't necessarily been a top priority for some people, whereas especially now in the economic times, people need to know what is the return for our investment, because it is an investment and it is in their business, but they just need to know what that is. And the CIPR toolkit's a really good one to use.
So basically, summing up, Aura Social is all about adding value to clients in the way that they can see and see the engagement with their publics, with their audiences, what platform works best for them. Basically, add value.
Yeah, and although it's free, Twitter's free, LinkedIn's free, you know, there's obviously Google Plus and things like that now as well. Time isn't free for some people, so time you have to invest. You do have to have a strategy, and you do have to understand what your objectives are to be able to measure that. And once you've done all that, you can then sit down and see what was the added value, what was the return, and hopefully then you'll be able to see that actually it has actually worked.